Okay, this is figure 3 question 1b, the next question, and it's also a third angle projection with the front view as A, end view as B, and the plan view at the top. Again, do draw out your view profiles. Okay, this will help you in your AutoCAD drawing with the 45-degree line. Then, of course, for the front view, always draw the stickman looking at the front view so you know the orientation, like this portion will be on the left and this side will be on the right. And then imagine the man flying over the top and then looking down and you see the plan view. So for this particular drawing, what we'll do is that I will start drawing. In the first drawing, I started with the front view, and actually I want to show you that it doesn't really matter which view you start from. You can actually start from any view. So this time around, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start drawing from the plan view. First things first, I have to draw my center line. And over here, I will draw the circle. Okay, so the first circle, it's a diameter. The first circle diameter is diameter 50. And when you look closer into this, there are several circles going on in here. So what is it actually? Now, if you look closely in this drawing, you'll see a diameter 20 counter bore to diameter 32 times 12 deep. So what that means is that the first hole, the smallest hole, is drilled all the way through, and that hole is diameter 20. Okay, so imagine if this was a full solid block or full solid cylinder, the first hole that was drilled was a diameter 20 mm hole. Okay, now then a counter bore hole, right, is one whereby there is a larger diameter drilled, or not drilled but milled over the top and it shares the same axis as the diameter 20 hole. And this diameter 32 will plunge or will go into a depth of 12 millimeters. So from the top surface here to the bottom where the hand is, it is 12 millimeters. So that is what this description is about. Okay. So what I'll draw is I'll draw a circle which is diameter 20, and then I'll draw another circle which is diameter 32. Okay, and this wouldn't reflect the depth of the hole at all because it's from a plan view. Now looking at the drawing, you know that there will be an offset of 98 millimeters from the center of this cylinder, 98 mm. And when you look closer for this, let's start drawing the circles on the right hand side. Now when you look closer, you will see that the radiuses are not given at all, they just give the letter R. Okay, but when you look closely at the dimensions, let me go to over here, the outer diameter is actually 24 and the inner diameter is actually 12. Okay, because you can see that they all share the same edges, right? So from here, even though they didn't give you the R, you can deduce it quite confidently from the other dimensions that are given. So from there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a diameter 24, and the other one that I'm going to draw is a diameter 12. Now, what I'll do is that actually I don't need, what I'll do is that I don't need this, I actually only need 1/4 of it because from here it goes out. Okay, and how much does it go out by? It goes out by 15 millimeters. And how much does it go down by? It goes down by 6 millimeters. Okay, then it goes back over here. Right, now once that's done, you can always do a mirror to improve your efficiency. Right click and then you select your mirror line, which is here. Okay, so that's what we have. And if you look closely at the drawing over here, let let me pull out the drawing, and if you zoom in, you will see that this let's say web, right, or the flat portion of the component, right, the edge here, okay, shares, they draw the center line, and this line intersects this portion and it goes across to the center. So what this means is that this front edge here starts off at the center, okay, starts off at the center point, and it is not tangent, okay, because there is a solid line that's drawn. Now if it's tangent to a cylinder, you will see that there is no solid line that is drawn, okay, like this over here. So this is how you can tell. So what I'll do is I will draw from here at the bottom, and all the way it's tangent to this circle. And how do you draw a line that's tangent to the circle? You need to press the control button, right click, and select tangent, okay, and then you click on the circle anywhere along the circle, as long as you see the green circle with the bar that's on the top there, and you press escape. Okay, do you need to repeat that sequence for the top? Well, actually not necessary, right, because I'm just going to mirror it later. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the slot that's at the center here, and I'm going to do an offset. The offset for this is 32, right, and that's from the drawing. And there is another offset distance of 20. Okay. I'm going to draw the diameter. Now the diameter is not given, but however we know that they tell us that the slot width is 12 millimeters, so the diameter is 12, right? And of course you can repeat it over here, diameter 12. Oops. So let's repeat that. I think I went back twice too many times. Diameter 12, and over here, over here you went to a radius option, so it's 6, right? Diameter 6. Then what I do is I draw a line right across. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a quick mirror of this line and this line, and I just pick a point, enter. Okay. I'll need to trim away this guy. When you look at the drawing, this is a drawing that has mostly got outlines, and you need to ask yourself, are there any hidden lines? Okay, after much thought and consideration, you realize that no, there are no hidden lines for this particular view. This view is okay and it is done. So what I'll do is I'll tidy up my center lines before I call it a day. Just need to move it up, lengthen, shorten it. Okay, it's a rather painful process, but it is necessary, right, just to tidy your drawings. Okay, oops, still got one more long tail over here that we need to trim off. Now when this is done, we go to the next step, and the next step, what I usually do is I will start drawing construction lines. And for this construction line, what I'll do is I'll click over here, type construction lines, and I will go for my horizontal, H for horizontal, and I'll zoom in and I'll click at all my extreme horizontal lines, and these are my extreme horizontal lines. Then I press spacebar to repeat the command, and I press V for vertical lines. Okay, so I go down, V for vertical line. Now this over here is my plan view, right? I started with my plan view. So what I need to do is I need to draw the outer boundary of the front view and the end view. And like before, I do an offset of 20 millimeters. and I do an offset of 20 millimeters. Then what I do is I draw a 45-degree line, and here is about 150, so I put 150, tab, 45. Then this is a vertical line, and I tab a vertical line here. Now, what is the height of the entire component? So if you were to look at the drawing, the height of the entire component is 35 millimeters. So you come over here and then you do an offset command and you enter in the value of 35. Okay, so what I have just done over here is this is the boundary of the front view and this is the boundary of the end view. Okay, now here's a little tip. In the exam, if you run out of time, for some reason you were caught up and you cannot finish your views, right? At least draw out the boundaries of the front view and the end view and use use the outline and just draw a rectangle. Okay, just draw a rectangle, and what happens is that yes, of course it is obviously wrong. By right you should not get any marks for it, but actually because you place the view in the correct position, you'll get some marks there. And because there will be some outlines that run along here, you will get some marks. So maybe out of 2 marks you'll get 1 mark for this, 1 mark for this, 1 mark. So you'll get some marks at least, right? It's better than getting 0. Okay, it's better than getting 0. So let me delete this. I can leave this alone because later on the end view looks something like that. Now how do we progress with the front view? Okay, some of you are comfortable with just using the tracking where you move your mouse close to the intersection and then you can draw. Okay, and this is the front view. And you go over here and you are like, oh, what's my length? So you can always go over here, you can drag down, but right, and then you can go up. Okay, and this is so my habit is always to draw the outlines first. Once all the outlines are completed, then you draw the center lines. Then once all the center lines are completed, then you draw the hidden lines. Okay, then you tidy up the center lines and then you move on to the next view. Now sometimes you may not be able to complete the whole entire drawing. It is okay to leave it half done or 80% done and then you move on to the next view. Okay, so it's okay to move on to the next view. Right, so for this case here, you have to be careful and then you zoom down. Okay, and it goes up by 12 millimeters and across, down, across. Okay. Now this is the point where I'm going to draw the flange. Okay, I'm going to draw the flange. And the flange starts from, let's say starts from the bottom, and there is a space, there is a gap. The flange doesn't begin right at the flat at the bottom. It's actually 3 millimeters offset. So what I do is I just type 3 first, okay, and then I type 6, and that 6 is the length of the width, sorry, of the wedge, right? Not the wedge, like the flange of it. Okay, so then what I do is I draw a line, and this line goes all the way across, and what you can do is you can do this and you can track it down. Okay, now if some of you guys don't feel comfortable doing this, don't like this at all, fine, you go to the construction line, right? It's a few extra steps, but it's okay, you feel a little bit more assured. Then you type V for vertical, and what you do is you zoom in and you look for that tangent point. Okay, so this is the point where the flange actually, the web actually ends, right? So the web actually ends. Then you need to go back to your outline and you draw from here. Okay, and you can confidently just snap to this point and you know that you are in the right position. Now once you're done with this, you can actually move down over here to select that little bit of outline and you can delete it. Okay, this is where it is, and it ends here. Okay, now once this is done, you have to trim away the unwanted outline. So this is where you go. Don't leave the trimming to the end because you may forget and you may leave out one of the outlines and then you lose marks from there. So as you finish a particular feature, check, look through, trim, and readjust your line positions. Then after that, go and continue with the next step. Now we've more or less done all the outlines that we need. The next thing that I would want to draw, okay, another thing, if you were to use the method of the construction lines, please remember to delete them after you used it. If not, you will start to have lots of construction lines all over the drawing and you will get lost and make mistakes from there. Right, the next thing is the center lines that I want to draw, and there is one center line here. Then there is another center line here going down, but it doesn't go all the way through because this is a slot that is machined. Then there is another one coming down. And there is another one that goes down. And this one hits the outline, so you don't want to overlap it, so I stop over here. Then I continue from here. Okay, because you don't want to draw over the outline. So now I've got my center lines figured out. The next thing I'll go on to is my hidden lines. Okay, so I say again, we start off with our outlines followed by our center lines, then we go on to the hidden lines. Now what I'm going to draw is the hidden line that is coming from this edge over here. Okay, you won't be seeing this, right? This is a hidden line, you can't see this at all. So if you were to take a knife and cut this part into half, you will see that this edge here will be visible. Okay. The next thing is to draw from here, and the depth of this slot is 3 millimeters, right? Let me check for a while. Yes, it is 3 millimeters is written here. So what happens is you go back and you use 3 millimeters, okay, and you go across. Now what happens is you can also use your tracking from here and you can come down and it will snap for you. Okay, so you just, after a while when you get used to it, it becomes a very efficient tool, right? Very efficient tool, and you want to yeah, you just get hooked on it and you just always want to do it. Okay, so the next thing is this the counter ball, and the counter ball goes in by 12 millimeters deep, so I enter 12, okay, and goes all the way through. And then there is a 20 millimeter hole that goes all the way down, and that's what I have here. Okay, now once I have this counter ball hole, you notice I don't draw the full thing because hey, there's a mirror command and that really helps with a lot of things, right? And this is it. Okay, so this is my end view, and the next thing that I'm going to draw is my side view, or my end view. Okay, they call it end view or side view. And what I'm going to do is this time around I'm going to make an exception. I'm going to draw the center line first. Okay, because if you look at this drawing, the end view is actually symmetrical. So what I do is that to improve efficiency, I will only draw half of the end view. Okay, I'll only draw half of the end view. However, if for students, if for a start, if you find that it's a bit difficult to visualize, you have problems trying to do it, and you want to draw it as a whole, it's okay as well. I'm not going to stop you, but I'm just showing you possibilities of how you can do this in an efficient way. Okay, so I'm coming down, I'm drawing across, and over here, starts from here, draw across, and I don't need this, so I can shorten my line. You can choose to shorten, or you can choose to do a trim as well. Okay, so this front part here is the front flange, and then there is of course this feature. That's what it looks like. Alright. Notice how I make use of the outlines as well to help guide me. And then I delete them away so that they are okay. And then I'm going to draw the flange. Okay. So the flange starts off from here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw it all the way to the edge first. And I'll repeat that. Okay. Starting from the edge all the way here. Alright, now surprisingly this is all the outline there is, but this outline is not completed yet because if you were to look at this region over here, this line here is tangent to this circle. Okay, so therefore it is not ending at the complete edge over here. So what you need to do is this one, because it's so close to the edge, I'm going to use the construction line and I'm going to snap on the tangent. Oops, sorry, I should use the construction line, infinite line, and it's horizontal. And I'm going to snap to the tangent. So once I'm at the tangent, you realize that hey, there is this line that is very close to it. Okay, and I repeat again. I type vertical. It goes down, and when you go down, you will see that the outline here, right? You'll see that hey, you shouldn't have this portion of the thing, so you should trim it away. Now in the test, there may be some questions that are like that, and you need to be sharp so that you don't lose these marks. Okay. Now once this is done, you can delete away your construction line so that it doesn't get overly messy. I can delete this construction line. Okay. Now you have this flange here, and this part can be quite tricky, but I'm sure you guys can do it. It's very easy. You need to draw your hidden lines, and the first hidden line that we'll address is the hidden line that's coming from the flange. Okay, so when you look at this drawing and you are looking from this point of view, you'll see all these outlines. But however, do you see the radius that is coming from here? Okay, this is a hidden line. Okay, and this hidden line is shared with this hidden line that's here. So we actually need to draw this hidden line across. Okay, and we also need to draw the hidden line that's coming from the slot. So let's address these two hidden lines first. Going back here, and the hidden line that is coming from the flange, I'll draw it out. Okay, next there is a hidden line that's coming from the slot. Okay, and what happens is this: you'll notice that the slot shares the same line as the outline. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw from here, right? Or I'm just going to hit here, and then it goes in, the slot goes in by 3 millimeters and goes out over here. Okay, now because this hidden line should be deleted, we don't need this, because they share the same line, and the blue line now is overlapping the yellow line. Okay, so what happens is that when two lines overlap, the outline takes precedence over all lines. Okay, so if anything is overlapping the outline, that line should be deleted and need not be shown. So you can actually erase. Whoops, I accidentally moved it, so it's okay. Select it, delete away, and this is how it should look like. Okay, now the next thing to draw is, of course, and this hidden line is shared with the same hidden line that's coming from this huge cylindrical at the back over here. Okay, so it's shared by the same thing. Then the next one to copy is this thing over here, right? You can choose to draw it out, but you can use the copy command. You use the copy command, and I select part of the whole, right click to accept the selection, and I can choose the intersection at the center point here. Okay, and this point is the same point that is over here, right? So once this is done already, you're more or less done. You're done with the end view, right? The last thing to do, of course, is to mirror everything, and you want to use the green selection box and select everything. Then you right click to accept it, then you choose your mirror plane. With this mirror plane, you type enter to accept. Don't delete the original. You have your end view out. Okay, so once everything is out, you're good. This is done. You can switch off your construction line layer. Okay, so that your drawing looks more presentable. And that's done for Figure 3 question 1b. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you again.